Christmas is coming soon and you'll be hearing more about me.
So let's go. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Happy jingle, oh what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
But none of those stories will ever do justice to what I have to endure my torment. So I'm going to tell you just how much. On Christmas Eve, I have to defy the laws of physics and my own weight just to keep existing. First of all, I don't think you truly appreciate the scale of the feat. So I'd like to remind you that, given what I do, I'm basically breaking the law. Just think, once a year I break into 100 million homes without knocking or being invited. And I do all of this while staying extremely discreet and silent. Even though I'm moving quickly the whole time and I'm totally drunk. Let me explain, most of you leave me food and drinks. And with roughly 5 centiliters per glass when I've finished my Christmas rounds, you've gained 2 kilos, I've gained over 1,000 tons, and I've downed 450 milliliters of alcohol. So I'm a bit drunk then. That's nearly 1 million times the lethal dose in my blood. 450 milliliters of alcohol. And then, you really have to realize what it means to visit, sober, or completely drunk, nearly 100 million homes in less than 24 hours. Basically, that leaves me with 1.2 milliseconds each time. To park the sleigh, drop off the presents, eat and drink the horrors you left me before heading off again in a hurry. That's 800 times a second. Every time I move on to the next house, I must break the sound barrier. Accelerate, then brake like crazy right after, before starting again. Go from 0 to 4 million kilometers per hour in less than a millisecond. Then decelerate sharply again and once more start over. It never stops. Obviously, nobody seems bothered that an old man who should have retired long ago is subjected to a gravitational force 17,500 times greater than Earth's gravity. In terms of how it feels, 800 times per second I weigh as much as the retired space shuttle. Control tower here. State your identity and confirm your ground speed. Control tower, this is Super Santa Claus. Sorry, I don't have time to answer you. General, our airspace has just been violated by a pom-pom wearing guy flying a sleigh while drunk, moving 3,000 times faster than the speed of sound. Classify this information. We can't publicly admit that our anti-air defense system has been technologically outmatched by Santa Claus. And now you're saying that, like a meteorite entering the atmosphere and being terribly slowed down by air resistance, as soon as I deliver the first present, I should look more like an unrecognizable lump than a guy with pom-poms. That by moving 1,500 times faster than a fighter jet in your living room, I should literally blow the house apart. Leaving behind only devastated homes, shattered windows and broken bones, devastation and death. And you would be right. Yet listen closely. There's no sonic boom, no deafening explosion. You don't hear me, you don't see me, and yet I'm here every year. Too fast, too stealthy. The only reason I'm still alive and didn't end up as a pile of ashes is thanks to the combined use of a whole set of underwear equipped with thermal shields and other anti-G suits with inertial dampeners, keeping my brain supplied with blood. That's the scientific explanation. Oh, I can already see some of you thinking, but he's stupid. Why not save time by just dropping the presents straight from the sleigh? Very good point. Of course I thought of that. The thing is, a simple present thrown overboard at a speed of 1,000 kilometers releases as much energy on impact as the explosion of 100 tons of TNT. Enough to turn your house and the whole neighborhood into a shapeless burning mush. So, I have to get off the sleigh myself. Now, about the sleigh. Even if every child gets just one gift, say a 1 kilo gift. Early in the evening, with everything yet to be delivered, that's almost 300,000 tons to move. And since a reindeer, at its strongest, struggles to pull more than 140 kilos, I need a team of nearly 2 million animals. By lining up the flying ruminants 2 by 2, I end up with a team that's 1,000 kilometers long, pulling a sleigh as long as 2,000 high-speed trains lined up. And since the whole thing moves 1,000 times faster than a rifle bullet, it's not exactly easy to drive. To steer the contraption and make myself heard by the lead reindeer, I can't even shout at them. I have to say, being 1,000 kilometers ahead of me, because of the curvature of the earth, the lead animals are actually below the horizon. And anyway, even if I imagine they could hear me shout like, "Yeah, 3 to the left!" Even when stopped, it would take about 50 minutes for the sound of my yelling to reach them. Well, since we're already moving 3,000 times faster than sound, it's completely ridiculous. Actually, we're so fast that even making phone calls wouldn't solve the problem. Hello? Hello, Fury? Did you copy? Because communicating by radio waves, which travel at the speed of light, still creates a time lag of 1.2 milliseconds between the lead reindeer and me, the king, the big boss. So, to coordinate our direction, I'm forced to communicate by telepathy. And right now, there are 2 million little voices of flying ruminants bellowing in my head. A certain idea of hell. In short, you have no damn idea how hard it is to do this job, especially at a time when most chimneys are sealed off. Yes, I'm often forced to come in through the ventilation system or the toilet, so being Santa Claus is no gift. And after a day of work like that, don't tell me I don't deserve 364 days off. And if despite all these explanations, some killjoys still keep saying that I don't exist, with arguments like, "Well, your sleigh looks nice, but I did the math and to withstand the acceleration, the harnesses, even if they're made of Kevlar, would have to be about 440 kilometers in diameter. And the considerable weight of those cables would add to the weight of the sleigh, which would increase the number of reindeer and therefore the length of the cables, and then the length of the sleigh, and then the number of reindeer, and you end up stuck in this reasoning like in a damn clogged chimney. With a number of reindeer in the team, like little voices in my head that start to approach infinity. Well, I would answer them that they're forgetting about the intervention of a delightfully scientific law of nature. Shut up, it's magic. And above all, that I absolutely have no lectures to take from adults who deliberately let an old guy they've never seen enter their home. Every year, blind, drunk, and moving at supersonic speeds, all just to please their children.
Yeah, cheers. To all those kids, come on.
Anyway, instead of denying the obvious fact of my existence, try to reconnect with your inner child. You know, the one you probably put away somewhere, telling yourself it might come in handy someday. Blow the dust off it a little. Listen closely. Listen even more closely. It's as beautiful as a made-for-TV Christmas movie, like the sparkling eyes of children when they're still in their sockets, and then you'll finally realize that nothing can stop me from existing. All things considered, isn't it perfectly logical that a guy who spends the whole year in pajamas, surrounded by elves and flying ruminants, would revolutionize the theory of relativity over breakfast, manipulate space, energy, and time to the point of covering enormous, extraordinary distances with just a snap of his fingers? Technologically, I'm 1,000 sleighs ahead of you, while I move within the evocative forces of imagination without ever turning the skies of this sleepless night into hell. You, vile and miserable mortal, you are still stuck in the Stone Age. And if you still won't give in, if you keep insisting that I don't exist, well, remember that I only give presents myself to good children. I'll let you figure out for yourself the probability that someone like that could stay good for a whole year. In fact, I really do exist, but if you never see me, it's just because I never do anything. Christmas is coming up fast. You can follow the guy in the costume on Instagram. Apparently he even wrote a book, which looks nice under the tree, and as a side effect, it even gives me some work.